Hi folks, how are you? I'm Chris Caldaway, otherwise known as Mr. Joy Bennett. Joy, unfortunately, was called out of town and said, hey, Jim and Susie are yours, so you get me. Apologies as needed. You picked a magnificent, magnificent night. I want to welcome you all here to Old Songs. How many people for the first time? Welcome. Oh, yeah. Absolutely great. This is an ongoing series, and it all works up to the festival, of course, that we're going to have in June. And there's other stuff that's going to be happening in a week, and then in a couple of weeks, I'll tell you more about that at the intermission, but cannot wait any longer to get two amazingly fine singers in the Scottish tradition and songwriting that is in the Scottish tradition. They are just, you're in for a lovely, lovely evening. Please welcome Jim and Susie Malcolm.
Thank you very much, Chris, and thank you all for being here. Old Songs, it sounds very much like my kind of place. Now, Jim has been touring in America for about 20 years now, but I am quite new on the scene. I've been looking after our children at home in Scotland, and I'd just like to show you how I feel about the fact that we are now empty nesters. It's really a lot of fun to come with Jim and see what he's been up to all these years without me. So this is the first evening of our tour, and we are going to be performing 20 concerts between here and Birmingham, Alabama. So we have a lot to do in the next 5 weeks. But we have a programme tonight of songs from Scotland. Some of them are relatively new and Jim wrote them, and some of them are hundreds of years old, and we'll tell you about them as we go along. But we're going to start off with one of Jim's own.
Yes, this is actually a song around an old bagpipe tune. Any bagpipe players out there?
Yes.
Oh yes, well, brilliant. Well, you probably know this. This is one of the top 10 hits of the bagpipes. It's called Lochan side. Can you say Lochan? More phlegm, quickly, we need more phlegm. Cream cheese, mozzarella, anything you've got. Yeah, a lochan is a small loch. And of course, you know what a loch is? It's a lake. You've got some pretty big lakes quite close to here, haven't you? So I believe, yeah.
Quite big.
Quite big. Anyway, it's a very famous bagpipe tune. It's always played before Scotland have an international soccer match. It's very uplifting. But then the match begins. We'll wait for the commentator to say those terrible words. Oh no, it's disaster for Scotland. And so at the changing of the seasons, we're really enjoying the fall here. We flew into Boston a couple of days ago, and we've driven across the most beautiful, beautiful forests. Yeah, here we go. Come the winter, cold and dreary, brings a hawk down frae the high scree to the wind, whilst now hairs high around the Lochan side. Come the spring, the land lies weary, till the sun shines out so cheery, brings a bloom for all June's pride around the Lochan side. Had you been yet seen the scatter o' the peasies or the maca, when the moon the tawny Clyde lights around the Lochan side. And the heron comes a-creeping through the rushes, green and dreeping to the pool, while away through it slide around the Lochan side. If you ever hear reason to be hearing on your season, come and try the barley brewing by the fire on Lochan side. A summertime, the fish are louping, dippers in, the bunnies cowping, swallows flee, free dawn till eentide, around the Lochan side. By the autumn the pinks are winging, blaeberries are the moors are hanging, salmon through the surging spade fight, around the Lochan side. Have you been yet to see the scattered, oh, the peasies or the maca, when aboon the tawny old whites around the Lochan side. And the heron he comes a-creeping through the rushes, green and dreeping to the pool, while away we through it slide around the Lochan side. If you ever hear reason to be hearing on your season, come and try the barley brewing by the fire on Lochan side. If you ever hear notion to be welcomed with devotion, travel home or on the ocean, to be on Lochan side. Lochan side. Yay! Very much. Thank you.
Now I'm going to take the lead on the next song, and when I was thinking about what an audience in New York might like to hear me singing, there was one subject that really leapt to my mind. So this next song is about gutting fish. Now, my great-grandmother was a professional fish gutter, and she had her own job outside of the home when that was quite unusual, about the turn of the 1800s into the 1900s. And she was gutting herring, and that started in the far north of Scotland, and the fish are always moving south through the season, and so the whole industry has to move south. And my grandmother, with all the other gutting girls, would gather their belongings every few weeks and get on the train and travel further south to where the fish were being landed. And those women could gut between 30 and 60 fish every minute. Woohoo! Now, I still have to gut fish, but one takes me about 15 unenjoyable minutes. Because Jim is a very keen fisherman, but somehow I have to gut the fish because he says it's in my heritage.
Yeah.
So this song is called Come All Ye Fisher Lassies, and you'll hear a lot of words that sound unfamiliar probably throughout it, but especially at the beginning, and that's just all the names of the little fishing villages of the northeast of Scotland, and it's a sort of, come on girls, get your things, we've got to get on the train and move south. Fisher lassies, it's come awa wi me, frae Cairnbog and Kemry and fae Inverality, fae Buckie and fae Aberdeen and all the country round. We're a watty got the herring, we're a watty Neptune. You rise up in the morning with your bundles in your hand, be at the station early or you're surely here to stand. Take plenty to eat and a kettle for your tea, or you'll maybe die of hunger on the way to Yarmouth Quay. The journey it's a long one, chaps a day or twa, and when you reach your lodgings it's soon to sleep you'll fall. But you'll rise at 5 with a sleep still in your head. You're a want to find the gutting years along the Yarmouth Quay. Buyers canny cheels, and lassies at the pickling, and others at the creels. And you wish the fish had been all left in the sea by the time you finish gutting herring on the Yarmouth Quay. It's early in the morning, it's late into the night. Your hands are cut and jabbed, and they look an uncle and you'll greet like a whale when you put them in the bray. And you'll wish you were 1,000 miles away from Yarmouth Quay. Now we've gutted fish in Lerwick and stored away in shields, worked along the Humber amongst the barrels and the creels. Whitby, Grimsby, we travelled up and down, but the place to see the herring is the quay at Yarmouth Town. The place to see the herring is the quay at Yarmouth Town.
Now, folks, this is a song that I wrote actually when I was in this part of the world, really for the first time. And I was at that time singing with a band called the Old Blind Dogs. Yeah, oh, the Old Blind Dogs! And they're here tonight. And we were a 5-piece Celtic sort of folk band, drums, bagpipes, fiddles, very, very sort of up-tempo kind of stuff. People used to dance a lot to our music. But out in California, they used to dance like this. Noodle dancing was great. Anyway, now we landed in Boston and we did a concert in a really great venue called Johnny D's in Somerville, which is no longer a music venue. And then we were actually invited to a party by a group of students who were at the Berklee School of Music in Boston, but I couldn't go because I was the designated driver for the next day. So the boys disappeared off to this party, and then I sort of picked them up in the morning, and it was quite clear that none of them had been near their beds. And they were very, very sort of sheepish about what had happened, but it had been actually almost been an international diplomatic incident. They were almost arrested for playing the bagpipes at 5 o'clock in the morning. And they flopped into this van, and we drove through New England in the fall, you know, and the tree, I mean, I'd always thought, well, we've got trees as well, you know, in Scotland, but no, we don't, you know, not compared to that. These maples, they're amazing. The maple tree, what a tree. Syrup. You can make guitars out of it, and they look brilliant. It's what a tree, the maple is. And eventually we came, I think we drove from Boston right over to Rochester. So it was about 7 hours. It was a long, long drive. And there was nothing but kind of snoring and farting behind me but by the time we'd got to Rochester, I'd written this song. I was so inspired. It's called The Road to New York. Here we go. Driving through New England in the fall, English names I've never seen before, wooden houses glint among the trees, like white horses on a golden sea, and the thruway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves. Houses all decked out for Halloween, bigger here than I've ever seen. Pumpkin lanterns draped as black and gold, like some Christmas time for darker souls. And the thruway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves. So now every leaf will tumble down and leave a golden carpet on the ground. But I'll be home by then, and this will be just a memory to haunt my dreams. And the thruway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves. And the thruway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves.
That was some very tasty guitar playing there from Jim. I didn't really realise how much I loved listening to Jim playing the guitar until he took up the trumpet. And he practiced and he practiced and he practiced with that trumpet. And after a few years, he realised it was giving him sore heads, which is really funny because I worked out that it was giving me a sore head within about 20 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to sing the next song, which is called The Final Trawl. And it was written by Archie Fisher. And I wondered if some of you might know. Have you seen Archie Fisher?
Yes, Archie's been here,
I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful songwriter, wonderful singer, and a great teller of stories too. And Jim and I saw him performing this summer, but also last summer. And he's now 83 or possibly 84. Still can be the act for the evening. He's amazing. But that night he was having a little dental problem, and he said, I'm not going to be able to sing any songs with S's in them. However, he did wonderfully well, of course he did. So I'm going to sing his song. It's about a fisherman's feelings for his boat when he brings it back for the last time, because the boat is out of date. No one can make any money fishing with that boat. And the fisherman sort of has a lot of feelings for the boat, of course, and he says he doesn't want to take it to the breaker's yard where it'll be torn apart. He wants to just pull it up at the side of the ocean where he can watch it sort of slowly mouldering away into the sea. And that is a thing that you see around the coastline of Scotland. Mouldering boats. Yeah, and they are like very, very slowly changing works of art. And they take on such a lot of character. They're really lovely. Now this song it doesn't exactly have a chorus, but the second and the fourth line repeat each verse. And it would be lovely if you'll sing along. I hope that you'll want to. Even those who are told at school that they just had to mime the song, you're allowed to sing here in the room. So the second line, the words are, sing haul away, haul as in hauling in ropes. Sing haul away, my laddie-o. And the fourth line is completely different. It goes, and sing haul away, my laddie-o.
Sing all away,
haven, oh, the fiddler is green.
Sing away, my laddie-o,
where the rum is good and the bunks are clean. And sing all away, my laddie-o. For I fished a lifetime, boy and man. Sing all away, my laddie-o. And the final trawl scarcely makes a crown. And sing all away, my laddie-o. And sing all away, my laddie-o. And sing all away, my laddie-o. Oh, what a lovely room full
Yeah.
of singers. Thank you.
Now that song comes from the very north of Scotland, a little port called Scrabster. Sounds more like a sort of disease than Scrabster. Oh, a touch of the Scrabsters. Oh, it's terrible. Scratching all night. But this song is from the west of Scotland, from a county called Argyll. Can you say Argyll? It's where most of the Scottish pirates come from. What's a pirate's favourite letter of the alphabet? R. No, his first love would be the sea. That's right, yes. Anyway, Argyll is also where the diamond-patterned socks roam free. So it's quite a place. And now, probably the most important town in Argyll is Inveraray. And Inveraray was where the chief of Argyll, the chief of the clan Campbell, and the Duke of Argyll, very important man, lived in Inveraray. But this song is actually not about the upper echelons of Highland society, but a very beautiful young travelling girl. Now, the travelling families of Argyll used to move around the county, sort of camping and working in various places on farms and on fishing boats, bringing in the herring, helping shear sheep, helping cut the corn in the harvest. Very busy folks. But this girl, who wrote this song, the guy who wrote the song, he loves her, but it's totally unrequited. It's a song of unrequited love, isn't it, Susie?
Yes, and unrequited love is the scourge of Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's why we have such a small population. Although it's been a country for a long, long time, but we just can't get together. And along with all the unrequited love, there's all these songs about unrequited love, and it just all feeds. It's fed into a negative loop because people keep hearing all these songs and they just get disheartened. So I don't want you to feel disheartened. We try not to sing too many songs of unrequited love in case we spread this problem to the United States.
It's a downward spiral, it really is, folks. And it was called Traveller's Joy. Now, actually, Traveller's Joy is also an interesting... Traveller's Joy is the name of a plant that the travellers used to put in their shoes. That's kind of like a clematis, and apparently it had kind of soothing qualities for your feet. So, Traveller's Joy, yeah. But stick to shawl, and folks, for, and gel inserts and stuff like that. You don't want to start putting vegetables in your shoes. No, don't do that. So I'm not quite having trouble getting this thing in tune. It's not really. You're not in Scotland anymore, guitar. You're in America. Come on. She has no name, nor hame that she will own to. She travels light to the swan that builds its nest on Lochan. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye aware to leave me? It's will you bundle and will you go, or up the she and wailing me? But in Varera folks lived in, she's sunshine to the sheera, and she gans mere bra in her apron than they know their gear. Her hands set off with weeny word, the mere her face and glances, as white her blooms he profound upon its blackened branches. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye aware to leave me? It's will you bundle and will you go, or up the she and wing me? The rose that twines in yon brown hedge grows sweet for the wayfarer, but I would not give my travels joy for the rose of Inverera. With downcast eye she'll pass us by, with her to look for Ronnie, as up to rose the little rose upon a blackened body. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye aware to leave me? It's will you bundle and will you go, or up the she and wing me? I ken the lass, she has the heart, I ways of what to leave us. She's gone off through the mountain range, nay mere she says she'll see us. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye aware to leave me? It's will you bundle and will you go, or up the she and wing me?
I'm going to sing a Robert Burns song now. So I guess this song will be about 250 years old or so. And it is a very unusual song because of its subject matter, because this is a wife who is singing the praises of her husband.
Rares hen's teeth.
She says that when her husband, who is a plowman or a plowman, when he comes home at night, sometimes he's exhausted from his work and his clothes are wet from all the rain. And she says, "Oh, look at you, you poor thing. You take off those wet things and you go on up to your bed, and I will cheer you there. I'll cheer you late in the day and early in the day," which is twice. It doesn't say how she's going to cheer him, but it's just not that kind of song. See. But anyway, we think it must come from fairly early on in the marriage. So it's called the plowman or the plowman, and yes, here we go. A nice old-fashioned song about what it meant to be a wife 250 years ago. He's a bonny lad, his mind is ever true, Joe. His garter's knit below his knee, his bonnet it is blue, Joe. Then up we tall, my bloomin' lad, hey, my merry bloomin', of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the bloomin'. The bloomin' he comes hame at e'en, he's often wet and weary, cast off the wet, put on the dry, and go to bed, my dearie. Then up we tall, my bloomin' lad, hey, my merry bloomin', of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the bloomin'. And I will wash my bloomin's clothes, I will dress his orley, I will mop my bloomin's bed and cheer him late and early. That's twice. Up we tall, my bloomin' lad, hey, my merry bloomin', of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the bloomin'. But the bonniest sight that e'er I saw was a bloomin' laddie dancing, snow white stockings on his legs, silver buckles glancing, a good blue bonnet on his head, and all that he was handsome. Then up we tall, my bloomin' lad, hey, my merry bloomin', of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the bloomin'. Commend me to the barnyard and the corn bowman. I never gassed my goggie through till I met with the blooman. Then up we tall, my bloomin' lad, hey, my merry blooman, of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the blooman.
Well, folks, we are going to do one more in this set. Does that sound about right? Mine host? Yeah? Okay. Game of two halves. That's what this is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, great. Well, we're going to finish off with a song. It's actually the song which is the title track of our most recent CD, and it's called The Old Tune Shuffle. And the Old Tune is actually refers to the old town of Edinburgh. Any of you been to Edinburgh? Ah, most of you actually. The rest of you, please come. We need the money. So yeah. Now Edinburgh really is a fantastic city. It's very, very beautiful. But it's really actually two towns. The old town, which was the medieval part, and it was huddled around the castle for protection, surrounded by a huge wall called the Flodden Wall. And for many hundreds of years, the people in Edinburgh did not want to live outside the wall. It was too dangerous, mostly because of the idea of the English invading from the south. But by the end of the 1700s, Scotland had become a lot more civilised. And the wealthy people decided that it was now safe enough to live outside the walls of Edinburgh. So they basically planned and built a brand new city. It's called the New Town, and it was planned, and it's all geometric and beautiful, great sort of wide streets, whereas the Old Town was very narrow streets with very high, ramshackle, fire hazard type buildings. But the New Town is splendid. It is posh. It is the done thing. And the rich decamped themselves to the New Town, and the Old Town sort of spiraled into decline, like a sort of dishevelled old uncle, which is something that I'm beginning to understand as well. And even today, if you tell people that you live in the New Town, they'll go, "Oh, the New Town! How so fancy, the New Town!" So this song was written by one of our great musical heroes, a man called Rod Patterson, and he played with a group called the Easy Club, and they kind of did Scottish music with a bit of a swing. If you want to, the definition of swing, I think, is anything that you can click your fingers to, and it's called the Old Tune Shuffle or the New Town Stride. So I'll give you this, folks. So if you want to swing along, just watch Susie with what she's doing with her.
I'm sure you don't need my help with where to click.
Edinburgh Tune has a fine distinction. Edinburgh Tune gets a nice abuse. Everybody knows when the east wind up and blows that Edinburgh Tune's reduced to the two conditions that could be described as the Old Tune Shuffle and the New Town Stride. So cast a canny eye on the south side swagger, don't be taken in by the New Town taste. Edinburgh Tune wears a wig above a goon, bathed above a bib and brace. But don't mistake it for Jekyll and Hyde, it's the Old Tune Shuffle and the New Town Stride. Because the Old Tune Shuffle and the New Town Stride, they walk around hand in hand. But when the Old Tune ruffles up the New Town's pride, well, that's when the shit hits the fan. Check the office clerk in his two-piece pinstripe, a lounging round the mound like a cat in heat. In the public eye with his buttons on his fly, he's the Prince of Prince's Street. Well, if you find him funny, well, joking aside, he's the Old Tune Shuffle and the New Town Stride. See the slinky legs by the 60s Bentley, safe beneath the tweeds of a generous bride, who never had a voice, never knew she had a choice, never thought to play outside. Aye, the ugly sisters, poverty and pride, they're the Old Tune Shuffle and the New Town Stride. Because the Old Tune Shuffle and the New Town Stride, they walk around hand in hand. But when the Old Tune ruffles up the New Town's pride, that's when the shit hits the face of the fan. Stick tapping, breathing in the wind at the counted head. Through the funny smell, he thinks that he can tell sweeter ears are overhead. But it's an uphill struggle wherever you ride, from the Old Tune Shuffle to the New Town Stride. Aye, one or the other, wherever you bide, you're the Old Tune Shuffle or the New Town Stride.
take a 5-minute break for 10 minutes and we'll see you in about half an hour?
That's about, you've been here before. So, thank you all so much. There are amazingly delectable, delightful things to eat and drink over there. There are fantastically wonderful sounds of Scotland for sale right over here. And I understand you can actually meet the performers. So, we'll see you in a little while. Thank you so much. All righty. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to our streamers. Great to have you here. There are a number of things that go on at Old Songs. It's not just the performances that we have here. It's not just the festival. This is also an amazing place to learn. And when you go online at oldsongs.org, you find all sorts of amazing classes that are offered now in the fall and will be again in the spring. You can learn how to play button accordion, for instance. If you've said to yourself, gosh, I really wish my neighbors would leave me alone. That would be an incredible opportunity. Ukulele, always fun at parties. But in all seriousness, they're great teachers and they're wonderful folks to do, and things to do. Now, 1 week from yesterday, Friday, October 20th, we're going to have Sarah McQuaid. Now, she's a singer-songwriter, but she uses all sorts of world music to inform her compositions and her songs. And she really is an amazing rising talent in the folk world. Following that, we're not going to be together again until November 11th. And that is going to be with the most amazing Scott Ainsley. Yeah, you can say that again. Scott quite literally wrote the book on how Robert Johnson, the blues master back in the day, did what he did. Scott has made an incredible study of not only the blues but other traditional forms, but everything that he sings doesn't have that studied approach. It's got that genuine feeling it. The music is right there. And Scott is going to be an incredible evening, so you'll definitely want to put that on your list. All of this information is at the cards that are on the desk out there. And please take one or more if you've got other people that you'd like to give them to, or you need to reline the birdcage, whatever. And this has a lot of information, and we hope to really, really see you at some of these programs. Well, what I'm most grateful for is that you're here right now, because if the first half was any suggestion or any indication, second half is going to be that much more amazing. Please welcome back Jim and Susie.
Sorry, folks, but it's going to be rubbish. It's going to be an embarrassment. We did all our good stuff in the first half, and we're planning to phone this half in. You know. Thanks very much, Chris. Well, folks, this is a song. It's kind of become a bit of a theme song for Susie now. It's called "Pad the Road," and pad as in with your feet, yeah. And it's about a young man enticing a young lady out for a life on the road, a bit like me and Susie.
Young-ish. Yes. Young-ish.
Now, Susie and I met at a musical event many years ago, but Susie's movements have been somewhat curtailed by those pesky children, like in Scooby-Doo. If it wasn't for those pesky kids, Susie would have been coming to America with me a lot earlier.
We did actually try and bring in the children with us.
Dreadful.
Yeah, it was a short.
Yeah.
That didn't work. No.
Yeah, but then we became empty nesters. But then we got one tour in before, you know, all COVID kind of started and all that. So it's been a while. I think we got going again last year, and it's really nice for Susie with me. But anyway, this song it comes from the Travellers of Scotland. I was telling you about the Travellers of Argyll, who moved around the county, camping and working in various places as well. People did that all over Scotland. And these people were incredibly musical. They were great bagpipers and tremendous singers. And they wrote many, many great songs which have become a really important part of our tradition in Scotland. And mostly the songs are, "Come away with me, my dear, and we'll live on love alone, and we'll sleep underneath the stars." And the ditches are surprisingly comfortable at this time of year, really. But it seems to work. She seems to be quite happy with his description of the life here. Says I'm dearest Molly, come let us fix the time. When ye and I get married, love, and wedlock us combine. When ye and I get married, love, right happy we will be. For you are the bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me.
To pad the road with you, sir, cold winter's coming on. Besides my aged parents have not a girl but one. Besides my aged parents have not a girl but me. So I'm no the bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me.
Oh, never mind cold winter, love, the spring will follow on. Come sit you down beside me and I'll sing you a nice song. I'll sing you a nice song while I cuddle you on my knee. For you are the bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me.
Well, the other lads that I had, they proved of cruel mind. They beat me and abused me and proved to be unkind. They beat me and abused me and guard me through the day. The dare I gave my love to them to pad the road away.
Oh, lassie, dearest lassie, love, I'll never dare rang. It's on my honest father's life, I swear out in hell. I'll busk you fair and bonny, so you can bear the grief. It's a bellow of the country round to pad the road with me.
So she has donned her hose and shin and tae the kirk they came. And lang a morning the trouble went maiding. And lang a morning the troubles were set free.
For she's a bonny lassie that's to
She's a bonny lassie, she's a bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me.
Well, folks, we have been very, very impressed with what you guys do running up to Halloween. Yes, in fact, the expression I came up with was, "Whoa, dude." Because you guys really do Halloween. It's quite spectacular. Although it's a bit, some of the things that people do in their gardens are just downright scary, I have to say. Especially if you're sort of driving into a town. We were sort of driving through the dark actually when we arrived from Boston, and we sort of pulled off the road just to change drivers, and we ended up beside this really spooky house. It was probably just an ordinary house, but it was all these skulls.
Yeah, and this was after our transatlantic flight.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
Jim had driven for 2 hours and we decided that I would take over. And once we had parked beside this spooky house, neither of us wanted to get out of the car. how are we going to swap drivers without getting out of the car?
No.
Anyway, we just ran around quickly.
We in Scotland, we do not really make such a big deal of Halloween as you guys do, and I think that's partly because we are disadvantaged by our vegetables. You guys have those amazing pumpkins. Pumpkins are really not a Scottish thing; they don't really grow that well. We used to use turnips to make our lanterns, turnip lanterns, and Susie's family used to. That was a big
Well,
deal.
yeah, I mean, I know for some of you Halloween seems to start at the beginning of October, and it's never been like that in Scotland. But we did have to start carving our turnips about 5 days before Halloween because it is really hard emptying it. And our parents, who looked after us pretty well most of the time, seemed to think it was fine to give us sharp kitchen knives and let us go like this with a turnip, you know, night after night. Run up to Hal, and then you scoop it out, you get about a teaspoon from that much, and then yeah, but somehow we survived with all our fingers. But anyway, when you do go to all that effort, carving out a turnip, it does look really spooky. It has a sort of withered head sort of look about it.
Sallow, yes.
Yes, sallow, yes. Yes, so we have the wrong vegetables for Halloween. We did what we could.
Now this is a song called Halloween, and it's actually started off as a poem written in the very early 1920s by a lady called Violet Jacob, who wrote the most beautiful poetry in Scots. Now Scots is kind of like the version of English that we speak. You're not going to understand a lot of it, folks, to be honest. It's very beautiful. I can assure you it's very beautiful, okay? Just trust us on that. There is one thing that you might recognise, because it refers to various customs that I think you folks do as well. Bobbing for apples or ducking for apples. Yeah, it mentions that. Now, the whole thing about Halloween is that it's supposed to be this moment when you can communicate with those who have passed over. And in fact, Violet Jacob, who wrote this, her son had perished in the First World War, actually on Halloween in 1915. And she just really wanted this opportunity to sort of reach through the ether and connect with her son.
There's a beautiful line in the song that says, oh, what joy it would be if I could feel you reaching to me between the dark and the candlelight. And it's just a beautiful phrase.
Stand and crack, oh Lochan, but I mind on you. I'm mindful often we hae seen 10,000 stars kicking atween the naked branches and below, baith far and both hae their show. Hello, it looks so Halloween. Those bands with guys outside their tail, clearing the doors with so care, and find you hear the screeching skulls, oh lassies with the drunkard carols, bobbing for apples in the pail. The Buffy fire is love and hate, the new horseman's kist is set, recht o'er the lung where by the blaze the audience stood there, kept your clays. I can't afford to see it yet. Again the old folks' tales are recht, and guests flee home on Hallows Nacht. Oh friends, what would I give to feel your axe, your hand to me, between the dark and the carnal light. What in France across the wave, the wee legs van on Elka grave, and you and me below he sing, you'll maybe hear Halloween, yond while you're lying with the lake. There's drinking often sung and danced and ploys and kisses get their chance, but Lochan, man, the place I see is where the old kist used to be, and the left so Halloween in France. Halloween!
You're welcome. I'm going to sing a bothy ballad now. A bothy ballad is a song that comes from the agricultural region of the northeast of Scotland, which is where I was brought up. And I learned bothy ballads from my father, and he learned them in the bothy. Now, the bothy is a room, a little outhouse or something in a farm, or a place where all the unmarried men would live together on the farm, the men who worked on the farm. And it was a source of dozens of scores of songs about the life of a young man working on a farm between about the 1850s and the 1950s. And the one that I'm going to sing unusually is dated. It's a song from 1891, and it talks about a young man's experience of going to a new farm to start work there. Now, I really learned bothy ballads as a form of crowd control, because I am the fourth of 4 children, all born basically one year after the other. And my father, who was a big, strong guy, used to spend his summers tossing the caber and throwing the weights around at the Highland Games. He was a professional heavyweight athlete. So that meant that in summer weekends, every weekend, we would be travelling long distances with 4 children all about the same age in the back seat, fighting like mad about, she crossed the line, he touched me, she looked at me. It was ridiculous. And occasionally my father would completely lose his temper, and his great big strong caber tossing arm would come swinging back like that while he was driving to see if he could hit any of us. Which one of us it was of no importance whatsoever. And of course we all went like this. And we're quite good at dodging the swinging arm of the law. But anyway, You're not even allowed to do that anymore. It's political correctness gone mad. Another of his techniques to try and keep us quiet was to sing songs, and so this is one of these bothy ballads. Now this one, as usual, talks a bit about what the farm's like, what the horses are like, what the work's like, and then at the end it gets quite gossipy about some of the other people on the farm. And in particular, he says that there's a woman who works in the kitchen and she thinks she's very fancy. Her head is above the level. That's what the song says. But what that means is her nose is up in the air. So it's beyond the level. And she's got a pair of teeth that would scare the devil. So this is called the Guys o' Tuch, and that is the name of a farm in Aberdeenshire. The Guys o' Tuch. Chorus for joining in with. As I come in by Afford and for to get a fee, 'twas there I met with Jamie Brown, and there we did agree. So I agreed with Jamie Brown in the year o' 91 to ging him and ca his second pair and be his order man. When I get home to Guys o' Tuch, 'twas on an evening clear, they out about some other house, the gaffer did appear. He said, I'm the gaffer o' the place, and that's the mistress there, and if you want some bread and cheese, you'll surely get your share. Then I get to the stable, my dearie 40 new, and fix they wear a dandy pair of chestnut and a blue. Lovely dancers, the men on the Scottish farms. Early next morning, I yoke it to the blue. Long a lousing time, a perigard me rude. The blue she was no working wheel, she wouldna throw the fire. The gaffer says is a bittering at the smithy take Encore. When I got home the new blue, she pleased my uncle well, but I thought she would be better again she had a cotton wheel. repertoire o ivory that will scare the very devil. Dum I dum do, I dum dee, I dum my little dum I dum dee. Join in if you want to. Woo! That's Gangnam Bothy style. I know my song, I'll no sing anymore. And when you've been offended, you can walk outside the door. Dum I dum do, I dum dee, I dum my little dum I dum dee, dum I dum do, I dum dee, I dum my little dum I dum my dee. Phew. Thank you very much, and I hope those who are joining us on the live stream were singing along at home.
Now, folks, I am going to do a song now about the worst experience of my entire life. Yes, I was camping in Scotland in the Outer Hebrides, which is this line of islands kind of way to the west of Scotland, and the weather. Horizontal driving rain, gale force winds, hailstones like golf balls, patang, 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 plagues of locusts. So it was so bad that the tent was actually sort of blowing away. So I decided to do the gallant thing, and I went and I cowered in the pub. And I was trying to get one of the locals to sort of put me up for the night, but they weren't interested. But I had my guitar, so I took my guitar out and I started singing some, pub songs. I've been a wild rover, and all of a sudden these two huge fishermen that were standing at the bar, massive guys with big beards, with crabs crawling about in their beards. Instantly they were by my side, and we were like a trio, and we were singing all these songs, and it was great. And then they proceeded to ply me with the largest quantity of cheap whiskey I've ever been stupid enough to drink, and offered to put me up on their boat for the night. And I woke up the next morning in the middle of the ocean with the worst hangover of my entire life, or any of the lives of any of my ancestors. It was the pinnacle in the Malcolm family. And the boat was dredging for scallops, so it was stinking of putrefying shellfish and diesel fumes, and it was going like that in the water. So I started to throw up. I threw up everything I'd eaten in the last 5 years. All my internal organs were flopping. I was dreadful. Hell. It was hell. It really was. But it did inspire me to write this little song. Which is really more about the terrible destruction of the oceans that we're kind of witnessing. I mean, the thing actually that the amount of plastic that's ending up in the ocean, that's something we've really got to do something about. Oh, actually, we're doing our bit. We went to Trader Joe's today, and we bought a salad, and they gave us a wooden fork. Although it was a bit like going to the doctor, when they sort of put that, So I felt a bit like that. Anyway, this is Neptune, folks. Here we go. Neptune, I think I'm in love with the sea. How do I woo you and make you love me? I'm drenched by your passion, enthralled by your anger, becalmed by your beauty. How do I make you love me? But when he spoke, it was a plea, not a rose. If you want my love, then go and tell them all. Don't I don't understand what you feel. Here around my islands the waters are clear. I live from your riches, your birds and your fishes. I never would choke you. What do you need from me? But then he spoke of all the change caused by me. Your damage seems small, but let me recall that in your grandfather's day there ran salmon. You could walk on their backs. Now what's left of great shoals, oh, that slipped through the cracks. Now the salmon's in cages, gorged on fish meal, sucked from some other sea by cruel profiteers. So don't oil my beaches, don't slaughter my whales, don't cross me with diesel, cross me with sail. Give me some time to heal up my wounds, give me more poison and I will die soon. Thank you. Very much. Well, it's such a terrible thing to remember, that story about me being so ill, that it's actually made me feel quite upset. I'm going to have to go and sit down for a while. Susie will entertain you for a song here. Here we go. Oh, dear.
You're such a fragile wee thing,
I am.
aren't you?
I am.
I'm going to sing a song by a contemporary Scottish songwriter called Corrine Polwart, of whom I am a huge fan. And she has written lots of very beautiful songs, but I'm not going to sing any of those. I'm going to sing a deliciously quirky little song that she wrote, which I feel is a sort of anti-romantic and yet romantic song. Now, looking around the room, it looks like there are lots of quite romantic-looking men here, but they're in quite short supply in Scotland. There was once a Scotsman who loved his wife so much he nearly told her. And another story on that vein, which I love, was about a man who was quite newly married, and his wife seemed to need an awful lot of reassurance. And she kept saying, oh yes, but you know, are you glad that you married me? And but do you love me? And he said, look, I love you, right? And if that changes, I'll let you know. Anyway, this is John C. Clarke, a story about a gas fitter. John C. Clarke is a really nice man. He works in gas installation and he drives a gas installation van. He fills it up at the local gas station. And you know, I never saw him with a woman before. The women round here think they're worth a lot more. He's a kind of man your mother would adore. And that's no recommendation. Now, John C. Clarke ain't too good looking. I guess he looks like a gas installer. And for all that gas, he still ain't cooking. Yeah, he could do it being 6 inches taller. But then I ain't no pretty picture myself. I've been sitting round here too long on the shelf. And I could dream about being with somebody else. But he could be a whole lot smaller. Now John C. Clarke has a crush on me. He told me so one Sunday, and since I had no other offers, I agreed to meet him on the Monday. And the big surprise is that we really got on. We talked about all kinds of weird things till dawn. I plucked up the courage and said, "Hey John, would you meet me again on Friday?" So we met at the pizza parlour in town. By then my belly was warming, and while we were waiting on the tiramisu, I kissed him without warning. I said, "I'm not getting any younger, you know. Would you like to give it a go?" He replied, "I guess so." So I packed my things in the morning. Now me and John, we live together. We have a house that's full of laughter. We've got gas central heating, our bellies are warm, and John's insulated the rafters. And you know I really like each other a lot. For all the gas, we'll never be hot, but we're making the best of what we've got. We're living happily ever after. And you know we really like each other a lot. For all the gas, we'll never be hot, but we're making the best of what we've got. We're living happily ever after.
Whoa.
We were very grateful that during COVID, people were willing to sign up and come along to online concerts, which really kept our spirits up and saw us through. And we had a Halloween concert for one of them, and we invited people to dress up if they wanted to. Everyone was just at home. And one person in the audience came as John C. Clarke. He had on his helmet and his little name tag. That was brilliant.
Right, folks, I've always been really fascinated by Scottish people who came to America in sort of earlier times, and I began to find out quite a lot about the mining industry in the United States, and a lot of it was pioneered by Scottish miners, particularly in Pennsylvania. Now, there's a little place near Harrisburg called Pittston, and apparently there was a sign there that said, miners required, Slamanan men preferred. And Slamanan is a tiny little town in Scotland near Falkirk that had this particularly narrow coal shaft. Basically, most typically coal shaft.
The seam.
The seam, yes, seam was 3 foot, but this was 2 foot. And these guys would be sort of digging out coal in a 2 foot wide seam underground. I mean, it's just the idea of it, it gives me nightmares just thinking about it. But anyway, this is a song about a young man from Scotland whose family were all miners, but he came to the United States not wanting to be a miner. He wanted to be a farmer and own some land. And the idea of owning land was such a big sort of draw for people from Scotland, because in Scotland, the aristocrats had owned all the land for 1,000 years. So, and anyway, and he started off farming, but he had so much bad luck that he ended up getting into terrible debt and ended up his life paying off the debt working in a mine. And it's called From the Clyde to the Susquehanna. The Clyde is the river in Scotland that runs through Glasgow, and almost everybody who left Scotland would have left from the Clyde. The Broomy Law, a very famous little port. I was born near Dunfermline, 1829, and my family all were miners working where the sun won't shine. don't be a miner, son, or you'll live your life in shade. Sail across the western oceans where there's fortunes to be made. From the Clyde to the Susquehanna, looking for the promised land. But you won't find it as a miner with a coal pick in your hand. My friend Dave and me walked to Glasgow, boarded ship at the Broomy Law, and we rounded the coast of Ireland till we heard the ocean roar. When we landed in Philadelphia, I swore I'd never set sail again. That old ship was racked with fever, and I lost my only friend. From the Clyde to the Susquehanna, looking for the promised land. But you won't find it as a miner with a coal pick in your hand. Well, I lingered long in Delaware, where the folks are warm and kind, but I hankered to travel westwards, find some land that could be mine. So I trailed across to Harrisburg through some country I thought sublime, till I saw the Susquehanna running wider than the Clyde. From the Clyde to the Susquehanna, looking for the promised land. But you won't find it as a miner with a coal pick in your hand. I claimed land across the river and began to clear the trees, and I borrowed $300 to buy plow, stock, and seed. But my first years were struck with pestilence, and my third went up in flames. To my despair, I sought the table where I gambled everything. From the Clyde to the Susquehanna, looking for the promised land. But you won't find it as a miner with a coal pick in your hand. I abandoned life as a farmer seeking refuge in a Jonestown mine. And though the work here is dark and dangerous, fickle nature she can't me find. And though my hands are stiff and broken now, drinking whiskey dulls the pain. If I repay my obligation, I'll mine gold for the promised land, but you won't find it as a miner or with a cold pick in your hand. Try that, folks. From the Clyde to the Susquehanna, looking for the promised land, but you won't find it as a miner with a cold pick in your hand. Thank you.
I'm going to sing an old song now that comes from Glasgow. And Jim was mentioning the River Clyde there. And this song, the star of this next song, is really a tributary of the Clyde called the Kelvin, which is a much smaller river that runs through the west end of Glasgow. And this song comes from the emigrants from Northern Ireland moving to Glasgow. And that was in fact, in both directions, there's been a lot of movement from Scotland to and from Northern Ireland. And this song, we don't really know how old it was, because as with all of our traditional songs, or all the old ones, they weren't written down until, say, the middle of the 1700s or the 1800s. But we don't know how long they'd been sung before that. So this one was first written down about 1850s or 60s, but we don't know how long it had been sung before that. It's a very pretty song. It's called Kelvin's Purling Stream, and purling is the name that the name of the sound that water makes when it's running over shallow water running over stones. And it's the same word as when you're knitting, plain and purl. So the purl, the purl looks like that. I guess that's what the water looks like. So it's called Kelvin's Purling Stream, and it's a young man singing the song, and he's thinking about a girl that he loves that he's left behind in Northern Ireland. Summertime being in its prime, the weather calm and clear. I left that town called Portadown between me and my dear. In Glasgow city I arrived, and to Woodside I came. Where all alone I made my moan to Kelvin's purling stream. Ye stream, said I, as I walked by, give ear to what I say. How can ye roll without control unto some foreign key? Your murmurs pain my bosom sore. Here stands another's boy. He'll never prove false to the girl he loves till Kelvin's stream runs dry. flower grows in yon bower that would my fancy please. But I'll never forget the girl I love that lives near Lurgan Brae.
Kelvin's Curling Stream. Well, folks, we're going to do a couple of more songs for you, and we're going to do one that hopefully you will all love joining in, because it's a very well-known song, and which is called The Wild Mountain Thyme. Oh, the summertime has come. We're a bit late on the year for that, but it's either that or start singing Christmas songs, so we're not doing that. We're not going that far. Now, we have there's kind of a reason that we want to sing this for you, because a lot of people sort of think this is an Irish song, but it's actually an Irish version of a Scottish song. And the Scottish song is called The Braes of Balquhidder, which is a beautiful spot in the Highlands, Southern Highlands, which was written by a writer called Robert Tannahill. But Francis Peake, he liked the words, but he didn't like the tune, so he kind of reorganised the words a bit and came up with I think probably a better tune. I'd agree, it probably is a better tune.
It's definitely a better tune. We just
Yes.
want you to know that we're claiming this song for Scotland.
Yes, yes. It's a hostile takeover. Yes.
So we're going to start off with a little taster of the old Scottish song, and then we're going to merge into the Wild Mountain Thyme.
Will you go, lassie, go to the braes of Balquhidder, where the blaebirdies grow among the bonny blooming heather, where the deer and the roe lichtly boomed in together, sport the lang summer's day among the braes of Balquhidder, and the rude wintry wind idly blows round our dwelling, and the roar o' the linn on the night breeze is swelling. How merrily we sing as the storm rattles o'er us, and our dear shieling ring with a lilting chorus. Will you go, lassie, go to the braes of Balquhidder, where the blaebirdies grow among the bonny blooming heather? Will you go?
Summertime is here, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme throws around the blooming heather.
Will you go, lassie, go?
And we'll all go together wild mountain tide, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain tide, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go?
Well, we've driven through parts of New York, and the weather's been light and airy, but some of the Halloween decorations, they have just been downright scary. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain tide, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? Thank you. Thank you. Well, folks, that was you asking for an encore, I think. Yes. We don't believe in all this getting off stage nonsense, because sometimes you get off stage and people don't ask for an encore, and it's extremely embarrassing. So it's better just to sort of say, well, this is our encore. It works a lot better. We're going to finish off with one of our favourite songs, another Robert Burns song, which is called A Man's a Man for All That.
Okay. Okay then. I thought we would do Bloomin' Laddies in the...
Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
I'll do them both.
Okay. Okay.
No, I think we should have a fight on stage. And whoever wins the fight gets their song for the encore. Right.
Okay, Bloomin' Laddies, go for it.
Okay, I really wanted to sing in the room without the
Oh, yes.
amplification
Yeah.
and hear you all singing. So this is a lovely song with a chorus, very easy to pick up. And the gist of the song, it's a young woman saying there's many different kinds of man that she could have chosen, but she's chosen a plowman because they're the best. And it says they're all the go, which means that they're the best. And the chorus goes, what's it like? And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the plowman laddies are all go. That's great, some of you already know it. There's quite a few verses, so you'll pick it up, and it's going to sound lovely in here. Doon yonder den, there's a plowman lad. One summer's day he'll be on my ain. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the plowman laddies are all the go. I love his teeth, and I love his skin. I love the very kent he hurls in. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the plowman laddies are all the go. Doon yonder den I could have gotten a miller, but all the dust would hae done me ill. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the plowman laddies are all the go. Doon yonder den I could have gotten a merchant, but all his goods were nae worth a groat. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the plowman laddies are all the go. I see him coming through the tune, wi' all his ribbons hanging round
and sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o. The bloomin' laddies are all the go.
And now she's gotten her bloomin' lad, as bare as ever he left the plough.
And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o. The bloomin' laddies are all the go. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o. The bloomin' laddies are all the go.
I knew that was going to be lovely. Thank you.
It's there for honest poverty that hangs its head and all that. The coward slave we pass him by, we dare be poor for all that. For all that and all that, our toils obscure and all that. The rank is but the guinea stamp, the man's the guard for all that. But no unhamely fare we dine, we're hot and gay and all that. Ye fools their silks and knaves their wine, a man's a man for all that. For all that and all that, their tinsel show and all that. The honest man, though e'er say proud, is king of men for all that. You see yon bucky called a lot, walk struts and stairs and all that. Though hundreds worship at his word, he's but a coof for all that. For all that and all that, his ribbon star and all that. The man no independent mind, he looks and laughs at all that. A prince can mark a belted knight, a Marcus Duke and all that. But an honest man's a boon, his might good faith be manner for that. For all that and all that, the dignities and all that, the pith of sense and pride of worth are higher rank than all that. So let us pray that come it may, has come it will for all that. That sense and worth of all the earth shall bear the green and all that. For all that and all that, it's coming yet for all that. That man to man the world o'er shall brothers be for all that. Folks. For all that and all that, it's coming yet for all that. That man to man the world o'er shall brothers be for all that. Freedom!
thank you to Chris and to Barbara and all the team at Old Songs. You've got a lovely thing here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
thank you
because
to
of
you
them.
all. I know.
And it's because of our
Thanks to you.
volunteers in the
Yes.
kitchen. And it's
Yay.
because of our board members.
Thank you very
And
much.
it's because of you.
Yes.
So one thing I forgot to mention, on November 7th, we're going to be having a community dance right here. So put that on your calendars, check it. Many hands make light work, so if you would help us with the chairs, we would most certainly appreciate that. Thank you all. Safe home. Take good care.